What is up, everyone? Welcome back to a Kook's Journal podcast. I'm your host, Holly, aka Hizzle, aka a Kook's Journal. Just a quick reminder, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when I'll be releasing my next video. Okay, back to it. The intention behind this podcast is to give you guys a fresh perspective on life through surfing. Surfing has given me so much in life, and I want to give that back out to you. And hopefully we all learn something along the way. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you tuning in. And without further ado, let's get into what today's episode is going to be about. So today's topic is going to be about how we can allow suffering to fuel our surfing. But before we get into that, I just wanted to go over a couple announcements with you guys really quick. First announcement, if you are new to this podcast, just so you know, you can watch it or you can listen to it. If you wanted to watch it, you can head over to my YouTube. You can find me at a Kook's Journal there. If you wanted to listen to it in podcast form, I currently am on Google Podcasts, Anchor, and Spotify. And more likely than not, you will be able to find that in my bio on Instagram. You can find me at a Kook's Journal there. So lots of places to find me to tune into this podcast for today. So that is the announcement that I have for you guys. And then 2 disclaimers before I get into the topic of how we can allow suffering to fuel our surfing. So for this topic, understandably so, it's a pretty heavy topic to cover, but we're gonna attempt it. And with that being said, for the first disclaimer, just be aware that
it works for me, and it has been working for me, and it's something that surfing has taught me, but it might not work for you. It might not be applicable to everyone. My existence is inherently flawed, and just want you to keep that in mind. I'm not perfect, and we're all learning on this journey. And my second disclaimer is that if you, like I said, are new to this podcast, I am using surfing as my conduit, if you will, but you don't have to be a surfer to listen to this podcast. I think that surfing itself, it has so much wisdom to give, and it doesn't have to be about surfing for you. There's a lot of little nuggets of wisdom, I think, that are going to be in this that could be applicable to anyone. It doesn't matter what you do. You don't have to be a surfer to listen to this podcast. So those are my 2 disclaimers.
And without further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to start it off with just being blunt and getting to the point of we all suffer in life. And, you know, we go on social media and we go out into the world and we live our lives and we try to make, you know, the best of our situation every day. You know, we are always aiming to prevail, I would like to think, as a civilization, especially when it comes to things like social media. But the truth of the matter is that we all experience suffering in life. You know, we all experience loss, trauma, pain, betrayal. It's part of the human experience, and to avoid that, in my opinion, is to avoid being human. And you know, there's lots of ways, I'm sure as you know, that we can go about managing, processing, healing our suffering. So what I am going to share with you today is just what I have learned, and it's come into my life, I would say, over the past year, since surfing has really become a passion for me. Even though I've been surfing for 3 years now, I would say over this past year, with doing my 100 of summer challenge and exploring a whole new area of surfing, a whole new category of surfing with surfing the Great Lakes here, it's really become a passion of mine in the past year, and this is basically what I have gathered from that experience. And you know, as I said in the disclaimer, you know, everyone has a different way of dealing with this, and this might not work for you, but if it does, and if this can help you, that is my goal. I want to help, you know, I just want to help. And I hope that this can be helpful. So, the whole idea of allowing our suffering to fuel our surfing, I have a metaphor that I want to present to you guys as a way to perceive it, because it can be a little daunting right off the bat. So imagine that your suffering is a fire. It's a campfire. It's a pit of fire, okay? And what I've been doing with this metaphor is going through my days, and maybe something comes up from the past for me, or maybe something happens in my day, just something gives me a feeling of pain, hurt, anger, an emotion that I'm perceiving as negative that feels uncomfortable, essentially pain. I think to myself, this is a stick, and I am going to add it to my fire. And then, as I'm building this fire, I am going to take time and dedicate it to lighting this pile of sticks on fire, lighting this campfire on fire with some freaking lighter fluid, and it's gonna be big. So what does that all mean? As I said, the fire is your suffering. The sticks are the experiences of pain in our life, and the flame, the ignition of setting it on fire is the act that you put your pain into. Because as I said, I think to be human is to experience suffering, but we do have a choice with what we do with that suffering. And as much as I think that suffering and experiencing and processing the pain that you've been through so that you can heal, it's essential. We all want to heal and be on this continuous journey of healing. It's important to feel these emotions, but from what I've learned is that for me, they deserve a place in my life, but they deserve a specific place in my life. So in an analytical sense, going through the motions of processing things in this way, where you are putting your pain into a time and place. For me, it's surfing or exercising because I can't always surf, or skating. Those are activities that I do to release and experience my feelings, because if we can allow our pain to be a catalyst for gain in our life, and we can put all of that pent-up energy and all those emotions into a skill that we can grow into, that is going to benefit us. So basically the gist of what I am trying to say, because I know that was a little bit long-winded, so thank you for being patient with me, is that we can't run from pain. We can't avoid pain forever. I mean, you could try, but it's going to be a very resistance-filled, not enjoyable life. We all want to be happy. We all want to have good days. And so this system that I've been implementing kind of gives me the ability to have the best of both worlds, because I don't know about you guys, but I really aim to have happy days. And quite frankly, when I'm not having a good day, or if something comes up, it almost like pisses me off, because I want to have a good day and I want to be happy, and that's just the vibe I'm trying to be on. And this process of putting it into action, of something happens in my day, I think to myself, this is a stick I'm adding to the fire. And then I know that I'm going to take time out, whether that be through surfing, through exercising, through a hobby of mine. It can be a hobby of yours. Knowing that you are going to put time towards that container for your pain, and you are going to use it as fuel to progress in something that it is healthy for you, is beneficial for you, is growing you as a person. It's amazing, because we need energy to accomplish these things in life anyway. You need energy to complete your art, to complete your craft, to complete your workout, to complete your passion. You need energy. And if we can kind of utilize this energy that we have, because when painful things happen, it lives in us and it's stored in us as like energy. You know what I mean? And if we can put that energy into something else that is actually benefiting us, it is literally the definition of pain for gain. And it also can kind of be perceived as pain and passion equaling purpose. You have pain in your life, you are passionate, and you put the two together. You use your pain to fuel the passion that you have. It's going to lead to a purpose. It's going to lead you somewhere. So for me, like I said, it's surfing. A lot of times in life, I don't know if you ever experienced this if you are a surfer, but something will happen that's negative, and I just think to myself, I cannot wait to go surfing. Like, I can't wait to go surfing. It's just a safe place for me, as frightening as surfing can be from time to time. And it doesn't always look the same of how I process it personally. I think it's different for everyone, but I think we all need that place that we can go to, and that kind of knowing that we're carving out time for ourselves to process things and heal things in whatever time frame that happens for us, that works for us. And then we can kind of essentially compartmentalize in a way that is actually healthy and go on and do what we need to get done in the day and accomplish things and have a good day, and know that we are not ignoring and neglecting ourselves. We're taking care of ourselves in a way that gives us a time and place to experience all of our emotions and work through things for ourselves. And yeah, that is essentially the bulk of what I wanted to communicate with you guys, and that I hope can be helpful to you. I think that to be human is to go through suffering from time to time. I think it's unavoidable, but we can use the experience of being human to progress in our journey. And for me, it's surfing. And I don't know about you guys, but yeah, that is what I will be doing. I will use the pain in my life to fuel my workouts, to fuel my exercise, to fuel my passion and my drive for something, so that I grow in the thing that makes me feel alive. And I use essentially the ashes of the fire to frickin' go. So yeah, I hope that fire metaphor made sense and was helpful to you. And again, I do hope that this information, that my perspective, my experience that I'm sharing, can be helpful to you. Again, if this doesn't apply to you, if this doesn't work for you, no worries. It's just something that works for me, and I wish someone would have shared this with me 2, 3, 4 years ago. So I hope this was helpful. I really appreciate you tuning in, and I'll see you in the next podcast. You!